What does Swaffham sound like?
Swaffham sounds like the church bells every hour.
What do you like about Swaffham?
I like how there is quite a lot of green spaces. There's parks over there, there's parks everywhere. It's just an interesting place to go as well.
What would you add to the map in Swaffham that's not there?
I would add the allotments to the map because they've been a big part of my life and community. To me, Swaffham sounds like a lot of the wildlife that reside in it. When I wake up in the morning, I hear a lot of cuckoos, and when I walk around, I hear a lot of cockerels and ducks. I think I'd add more green spaces in Swaffham and more places to sit down and relax with your friends. To me, Swaffham feels quite old in its buildings and colours. There's a lot of greys and beiges and browns in Swaffham, and I think Swaffham could maybe use more murals, perhaps depicting some parts of our history and heritage.
I've always appreciated the big memorial, where the Costa is, of the soldiers. And usually what I do whenever I finish my walks, I usually like to sit, whenever I have a snack, I go down there and sit by it because there's chairs by that bit. I just see that as my way of thanking them.
What does Swaffham sound like?
Swaffham sounds quite busy in my opinion. The sounds that I say are definitely most iconic in Swaffham are the bells of the church. You can hear those very often.
And I like the Market Cross Cafe best. Sometimes I have a proper full English breakfast. I like how there's lots of cafes and shops around, and it's all very close. It could probably stay a market town.
I like the market because it's a good place to socialise. It's very busy. You can hear lots of talking because, of course, you have the auction. There are also a lot of cafes where you can eat and drink.
Depends on where you go in Swaffham, I'd say. But if it were the cafe, then you'd have a wide variety of tastes to choose from. But if you were more of a person who enjoys something a bit more simple, then I'd say the Mr. Chip shop. They've got some really good stuff in there.
If you hadn't moved to Swaffham when you were a child, would you still choose to live in Swaffham as an adult?
I don't think I'd choose to live in Swaffham because the job I want to pursue as an adult is in the arts, and there's not a lot of opportunities or jobs for it in Swaffham.
Do you think they could maybe add something that connects to art in Swaffham?
Yes, I think they could, since there are famous actors and painters who come from Swaffham, and it'd be a good opportunity to explore that heritage. I would add more opportunities for the arts and things to do for young people because it feels like there aren't enough.
If you could, what would you add to Swaffham?
I would probably add a bowling alley because I love bowling so much.
What could this town be?
I would definitely bring it into the 21st century a bit. It's definitely a bit behind, and I'd say maybe something like a game or CEX maybe. I'd bring one of those in here.
Would you still choose to live here when you're an adult?
I'd say definitely so. While Swaffham is a bit stuck in the past, it definitely does have its moments.
I like living in Swaffham because not normally much goes on.
What do you think Swaffham will be like when you're grown up?
I think it might stay the same, but I think the headmaster's house will probably be gone.
To me, change really depends on how it's done. If change is made from new opportunities and reuses old buildings which have been left derelict, I think it's very good. But if it knocks down houses and part of the heritage to not use them for much, then I think it's a bad thing.
I think this town could be a mix of everyone's enjoyment. It could have the old part, but at the same time it could also add things that younger people like, for example, youth centres or places where they can mix together. I would say if it's falling down to bits and it's not used as anything, maybe get rid of it. Or if it's stable enough and there is chance that you could save it, then keep it and then change the inside.